If you're looking to make solar simple, give Ron Domenico with AD Energy a call. All-day energy made simple. Solar solutions with zero down, options to lease or finance, and roofs and trees are no issue. Call Ron Domenico at 609-226-2802 and tell him you saw him on the Sports Box.
Well, hello again, and welcome to the show that scientifically is proven to take the hair off your ass. This is the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters. It's right here. I am Michael Etta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my partner, Brian the Ranger. It's hard, Brian. How are you today?
You know, I make a comment on your throwing skills.
It's pretty good.
I'm going to let it go.
Yes,
I'm going to pretend it didn't happen. Welcome to the Sports Box, guys.
That's it. Today we have a great show for you because we have a guest on the line that we're privileged to have at the Sports Box. This person we're about to talk to played minor league hockey for 14 years, European hockey for 5 years, coached the Iceland national team for 3 years. Brian, help me out. Give me a little background here too. A '98 Calder Cup winner with the Philadelphia Phantoms.
He won the NCAA championship with University of Maine.
Correct.
You know, very. You can see he's been all around the world.
Correct.
You know? And like, as the wrestling fan that I am, like Cesaro from WWE, the man knows 5 languages. That's awesome.
We're going to get to that a little bit later on, but on the line right now, he's currently the GM for Comcast. He runs the Northeast Skate Zone for the Philadelphia organization. His name is Dave MacIssac. Dave, thank you for getting on the show.
Thanks a lot for having me, guys.
Absolutely. It's an absolute privilege and an honor to have Mr. MacIssac on the show. You like that little suck up the head there? Isn't that nice?
Well, the highlight for me is that he played for the Hartford Wolfpack, which is awesome.
Oh,
that's fantastic.
You gotta go for the Wolfpack.
It's a Rangers affiliate.
That's it. And Dave, with that, did you play in the mall when you guys played for when you were in Hartford?
Yeah, right next to the mall there, yeah.
You can't beat that. You go watch a hockey game and go shopping at the same time.
The Whalers should have never left.
It's unbelievable. So, Dave, let's get right to it. First, Dave, why don't you talk a little bit about your minor league career? I know you had a lengthy one, 14 years, and you had a lot of different teams you were playing for. You were with the Phantoms for a long time here in Philadelphia. I knew you when I saw you play as Diamond Dave the Fighter, and I gotta say I love some of your work. You really tuned up some guys. So give us a little I don't know, go back in time with your minor league career, Dave.
From college, I played 7 years in American League, Milwaukee, Philly, Hartford, Lowell, Kentucky, Hershey, and then I moved on to Europe for 5 years.
Okay.
Played in the KHL in Russia, and then Denmark, Italy, and places like that.
Now, when you played minor league hockey, Dave, was it a matter of you being traded sometimes, or was a lot of it like a lot of free agent moves at the end of the season? You moved on.
It was mostly 1-year contracts, pretty much throughout. So even when I was at the Phantoms, I was 3 years here with the Phantoms, but it was always on a 1-year contract. So
now, was that something that that's something you wanted to do, or was that something that the team organizations always did with you?
A little bit of both. I wanted to get my shot somewhere, and I didn't want to get locked down, but I think it was my agent and the teams working together.
Yeah, Dave, I know one of the highlights, obviously, of your career was winning the Calder Cup with the Philadelphia Phantoms when they were here in the area. I guess my question for you is, I don't think a lot of fans truly appreciate the grind that minor league hockey really is. I mean, my understanding of it is you do a lot of travel via bus from city to city. I guess talk a little bit about what life is like, with frankly not as much of the glitz and glamour of the NHL. The way that it's more true hockey, if you will.
Right. Yeah. The NHL, you fly everywhere, and you stay at the Ritz-Carlton and all that.
Yeah.
Or minor leagues, you're on the bus for 8 hours, going to a game, and then turn around and have to drive 8 hours back to play the next day at home. So it's a little bit more of a grind. 3 games in 3 nights, which they don't do in the NHL.
Right.
And stuff like that. But we had a great team here in Philly. As you can see, most of these guys are still involved in hockey. A lot of the guys I played with, Johnny Stevens, looks like he might get the LA coaching job.
Nice.
And Neil Riddle's a scout with Florida. Jim Montgomery just won the NCAA college championship with Denver. And still a lot of guys are involved.
Do you still keep in touch with a lot of the guys, Dave, or you don't really talk to much of them anymore?
Yeah, I still see a lot of the guys. We just lost one of our trainers, Chris Felix, to cancer battle a couple weeks ago, and we had a little reunion with 6 or 7 guys from that team. And that was fun. Go out and catch up a little bit. A lot of guys still in the area, too. I know Frankie was up by you guys.
Yeah.
Up near Hamilton there.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so those talked to quite a few guys from that team.
So, Dave, obviously, in part of your playing career, you've had experience playing in the United States as well as around the world. Could you give any color as far as the comparison, I guess, between the experiences of playing here in the U.S., but also, what it's like playing professional hockey in other parts of the globe?
Yeah, it's easier on your body playing over in Europe. You only play so many games. You don't play 82 games like we do here. In Russia, I think we played 50, 55 games maybe. And in Italy and Denmark, we played like 30, 40 games. So it's a lot less wear and tear. And it's a good experience learning the cultures and things going over there. So I enjoyed it.
Is the style of play very similar? I mean, I think, obviously, especially in the area that we're in, the Flyers are known as one of the Broad Street Bullies. It's kind of their identity, if you will. Other areas in the world, I mean, is it still the same game? Or are there different intricacies that you kind of pick up on depending where you're playing, like different leagues?
Yeah, I think that every country's got its own unique style of play, I guess you'd say. So, it depends where you go. Russia was sort of like the NHL, where you're allowed to fight a little bit. Most countries in Europe, you're not allowed to do any fighting or they shy away from hitting too, so it's a lot different.
Okay.
So, Dave, in 2012, you obviously threw your hat in the ring with the coaching, and you went over to Iceland. And congratulations, you won the Hockey League championship over there. How was that? Was that a big change for you, or was that kind of naturally with your, you've been playing so long as you have, even though, you never really coached at that kind of level? Was it an easy transition for you, or was it a little bit of a change for you?
No, yeah, I always was interested in coaching, and I started actually 3 years before that in the Southern Professional Hockey League in Louisiana. I coached a couple of years.
Okay.
And so then when the opportunity came to go to Europe, I jumped on it and had a great time over in Iceland. It was a lot of fun.
Good.
Okay. So I guess we'll talk a little bit about the obviously you're still in the area, so you obviously know what's going on with the Flyers. A bit of a disappointing season for them, not making the playoffs after making it last year. Looks to be a little bit of an off season of potentially some change for the team. There's always rumors with the Flyers of who's getting traded, who's not coming back, especially in net. Is there anything that you're looking for from this team in the off season that might, get them ready for hopefully a different result for them next year?
Yeah, I think they got some pieces in place. I think their defense is young. That Provorov was awesome this year. Mm-hmm. I didn't think he was going to be that good coming in the first 10 games. I thought I said, what are these guys doing? And then all of a sudden he took a step and, he became an elite defenseman. So they got a lot of young guys that have been on defense there in the minor leagues, and they're going to be coming up next year. So, it might still take a year or two, but they got some pieces in place for sure.
Do you think, this, like you said, David, I'm with you on the Flyers saying it's going to take another year or two to get this team rolling in the right direction. I think Hextall's got him in the right direction with the youth movement, but the difference is when he was in LA, it took him 5 or 6 years, and the LA market was willing to do that with ice hockey. In this market, the Philadelphia market, they are starving for a winner. So I guess my question to you is, will Hextall or even Hackstall survive all this, or are either one of them going to get pushed out and they're not going to survive by then?
I don't know. I think he's in a good spot now. The people are pro Hextall right now in Philadelphia, which is usually not the case when you lose. So, I think he's in a good spot. I think he's making some good moves. So, I guess we'll see. You never know. They could, pick up a free agent or two and do something next year to at least push to the playoffs and see what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what they do in goal, considering they haven't had a goaltender since Hextall. I know me and Brian have gone back and forth about this. They really have to go out and not just get the best goalie on the market. They really have to find a goalie that's going to be here for a long period of time that can take them to the next level, along with, and I started the process with the defenseman, Provorov and things like that. So I think they're headed in the right direction, but the goalie is going to be key.
Yeah, for sure. So, we'll see what happens. I guess Nervous coming back, and then I don't know what's happening with Stoley. He got hurt or something yesterday or this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure what the goalie situation is going to be next year, but I think they'll be okay.
If you were making some decisions for the Flyers, I mean, obviously there's always these, again, with the Flyers, because they're a high-profile team, there's always rumors of, again, what they might do, what they might not do. And recently, Claude Giroux was asked about potentially getting traded, and he said he doesn't want to go anywhere, that he wants to stay in Philadelphia. If you were one of the guys who were making decisions, would he be a player that you would look to move for, either a different type of player or possibly some more youth, or is he somebody that you think can be part of the solution here?
I can see it both ways. I mean, I can see him being part of the solution, and I can also, I know he had an off year this year, and I don't know if that had anything to do with some injuries or whatever happened, but yeah, he's a good player, and you always want to have good players on your team, so I can see it both ways, I guess.
Okay. So, Dave, so now that the NHL playoffs are here, and we just started actually recently, these last couple of days with some playoffs, do you see any series that you could see a different kind of outcome? Maybe the Predators winning the Chicago series, maybe, Calgary coming up big again. Yeah, you like that? Yeah, I was just trying to spin it a different way.
I think you were looking for that.
Yeah, I was looking for that. Thank Brian. Brian always looking out for me.
I'm here to back you up, Rob.
Exactly. So, anybody like an underdog scenario that you see, in the predictions for the NHL playoffs right now?
Yeah, I think the two that you said were two upsets that people think wouldn't happen, and Nashville played an unbelievable defensive game last night. I watched a little bit of that one.
Pecorine.
I didn't stay up for the Calgary game, but I think all series are going to be pretty tight this year. I think Washington's got a big edge coming back from that game, so I think they should be the team to beat, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing about that team is they always seem to have the hype coming in, and then it gets to a certain point, and then the wheels fall off. So I guess we'll see where that goes. If I had to ask you who you think might end up in the finals from both conferences, are you leaning towards Washington out of the East?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, you have to learn from past mistakes eventually. I think this might be the year for them. In the West, it's could be Anaheim. It could be anyone up there.
I still like the Wild. I said
I'd like to see Edmonton make it, but I think they're still a little young.
Yeah, that would be a dream season. That would be like the Flyers went that year to Hextall, took them to the finals. That would be a dream season for Edmonton. So that it's going to be interesting with the playoffs. So now, side note, I know we had talked about this earlier. So Dave, you are an avid wrestling fan. And Brian on the show loves WrestleMania, loves everything about wrestling, so I'll let you guys, bond a little bit. So if you guys want to talk a little bit about WrestleMania, we just did a piece on WrestleMania 33, Dave. So did you have a chance to watch that? Did you have any feedback on that?
I did watch a little bit of it. I haven't been following wrestling as I used to as much, but it's still entertaining to me, and it's still fun. I was reading today that Lana from Who's Serving Lana, she got roughed up a little bit in Boston.
Yeah. Yeah, she went to Twitter and she said, "I've never felt so sexually violated by TSA in Boston." I'm like, all right. I mean,
there's always storylines.
Yeah, I guess when was it, Dave, that you were a big fan? Who were what was the era that you really were the most into the sport?
What I would say with the fans probably was my biggest time in wrestling.
Yeah.
We had a lot of free time and would all go down for the wrestling events down to the Spectrum.
That's great.
I remember WrestleMania was here that year.
15, yeah.
And and we played the Spectrum. It was over at the Wells Fargo Center.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And all the wrestlers came to our game the night before WrestleMania. So we're up 6-1 playing against Cincinnati. And I had no business fighting at all, but I seen all the wrestlers.
What you did.
And I took the in the fight, so I grabbed some guy and I taunted him. And I was doing a bunch of sockets and diamond cutters up there all the wrestlers going on.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, I mean, for the wrestling fans that are out there, ironically enough, Dave, you're referencing the Attitude Era, which really was the height, and I don't think we're ever going to see that height again, for WWE and WCW at the time, but
Right.
Your nickname was Diamond Dave. I'm assuming that's in relation to Diamond Dallas Page. You mentioned the Diamond Cutter. That's awesome. That's there's not enough of that, I think, in sports today. Is that little bit of personality? I think sometimes people don't show that as much. I think the games could use some more of that. So that's awesome to hear that.
Yeah, that was fun.
We're gonna have to bring Dave
Frank
in.
was the animal, so I had to come up with some sort of nickname. And,
We're gonna have to bring Dave in on the next
Dave
wrestling.
was actually a friend of mine's cousin. So Rich Brennan, I don't know if you know, he played minor league hockey, but his wife is cousin with Dallas Page.
That's awesome. Yeah, Dallas Page is from the area. He's from New Jersey.
Yeah, he is. He is. And Dave, the last thing I'll leave you with is in your minor league career, extensive minor league career. I know you obviously threw the gloves down maybe once or twice, but who could you say comes to mind as the guy you really wanted to fight, or even a short good story for us that you have from your fighting days?
I can tell you one time I fought Chara.
Oh, get out!
That must have been.
And I grabbed him. I started hitting him a bunch of times, and then he grabbed me, and I couldn't move.
Well, it's a little bit of a height disadvantage there, but
Slight height difference.
yeah, that's okay. Have you ever fought the Animal when you were on a different team?
I never fought him. No, we fought on the bus a couple times. So, that was just
I
for fun.
I guess just to cap off on that, there was a video I've seen recently. It was between the Sharks, I think, and the Predators, and then two guys that got into a fight, and then they're talking to each other afterwards, saying, "Oh, we got to go do some cardio." I don't think a lot of people understand that. Fighting is part of the game for sure, but I mean, from your standpoint, I mean, you probably had friends of yours that you'd kind of mix it up with, and that was just part of what you did. And I don't think people necessarily understand that it's not always this, not
right, yeah,
anger.
You don't always hate the guy you're fighting.
So
most of the time you go and have a beer with him after the game.
Yeah.
So that happens quite a bit.
It's the beauty of the game.
That's
Love
great.
it.
That's great. Well, that's all the time we have today. I want to thank our guest today and give it a lot of insight today. Really interesting, about your career, Dave, and what you've accomplished, and overseas with the coaching and winning a national title, national hockey team. But we really appreciate you coming on, Dave. Thanks a lot, Dave MacIssac. Again,
Right,
Dave.
thanks.
No problem.
Mike.
Thanks for coming on, Dave. Really appreciate it. So that's all the time we have for the Sports Box. Keep us in mind. We always got things going on social media.
We own social media, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're all over Twitter, we're all over Facebook, we're both at Sportsbox Show, so definitely find us there. And, of course, for great content just like this with special guests, we're on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel here so you get everything that we have right when it's ready to go, so you can enjoy it.
That's it. And don't forget our sponsor.
If you're looking to make solar simple, give Ron Domenico with AD Energy a call. All-day energy made simple. Solar solutions with zero down, options to lease or finance, and roofs and trees are no issue. Call Ron Domenico at 609-226-2802 and tell him you saw him on the Sports Box.
And that's it. So remember to watch the Sports Box. You got to subscribe to us on YouTube. You always get good content. We'll have some good stuff coming with the NFL draft coming up, and some. I'm gonna try to get him to talk about ML baseball. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but we'll see.
Well, one of these days you're gonna hit me in the face with something too.
Probably.
Yeah.
We'll definitely try to get Dave MacIssac back on the show to talk some wrestling. That'll be good. We'll get some more insight from him. But remember, at the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters is still right here. Thanks for watching. See you.
This episode of the Sports Box is brought to you by Mic'd Up Entertainment and DJ Mike Velardi. For all of your event planning needs, make sure you contact Mike at 609-864-5925 and tell him that you saw him on the Sports Box.
1, 2, 3.
Don't forget to subscribe.